Hello, everyone. This is Drew Amoroso again, and thanks for joining us today for this week's edition of 11 at 11. I appreciate you being here, and congratulations to you for taking some time out of your busy week to work on yourself and on your workday. So today I want to talk about something that I believe we don't do enough of with one another, and that's sharing our intentions and asking for the things that we want or that we need out loud. And I want to explain to you why doing this and how asking this question to other people is really an essential part of your personal and professional development and can lead to some really life-changing opportunities for you. So this is something I've talked about on my podcast before, but I want to frame this a little bit differently for you today. And I think now is a very important time for us with all that's going on in the world. It's a really important time for us to be proactive about seeking out opportunities for ourselves and looking for opportunities to help one another. First, a quick story to kind of unfold this concept. So I'm an adjunct professor at a couple of Bay Area law schools. My alma mater, UC Davis, the University of San Francisco School of Law, and also Golden Gate University. And the class that I teach is called a Practice Ready Seminar. And the idea is that we cover in that class how to start being intentional about designing and pursuing a career that you love and that aligns with what your true purpose is in going to law school and becoming a lawyer. And oftentimes the students who take my class are in their last year of law school. And so for many of them, they don't yet have a position lined up for when they graduate, or they don't know yet what kind of law they want to practice. And in this class, one of the things that I tell my students is that if you're looking for a specific kind of job, or if you want to explore a certain kind of practice area, or if you want to understand what it's like to be an attorney day to day, you need to bring these questions up in conversation with as many people as you can, because you just don't know whether someone might be able to help you get some clarity on those questions. You won't know that unless you ask. Right? So a couple semesters ago, I raised this concept in class, and right after class, one of my students came up to me and said, "I'm practicing what you just told us to do. I want you to know that I don't have a job right now, but I'm interested in practicing family law when I graduate. Is there anyone in your network that you can introduce me to?" So as soon as she said this to me, the first thing that came to mind was a good friend of mine who's a phenomenal attorney, has a really small but thriving family law practice. And I told my student that I had no idea whether my friend was hiring, but I said that I'd be happy to introduce her to my friends so that the two of them could connect. So after class, sat down, I wrote just a quick text to my friend asking if it was okay for me to introduce my student to her. She wrote back and she said yes, she'd love to meet her. And then I just wrote a quick email introducing the two of them. And the entire process probably took me about 5 minutes. So after I did that, here's what happened. That introduction email led to the two of them meeting in person, and they really hit it off. That initial meeting led to my friend eventually offering her some part-time work here and there, maybe a couple of hours a week. And then that eventually led to her being offered a full-time position at my friend's firm. And now she's there doing work that she absolutely loves. And my good friend, the law firm owner, now has added a team member who does great work and is really passionate about family law. So if my student had never come up to me and expressed an intention out loud and asked for what she wanted, I never would have been able to help her. I wouldn't have known that that's something that she needed in the moment, and we would have completely missed an opportunity that has put her professional life on a completely different track. And one that she wants. So I don't want to overstate this, but it really is the essence of what I want to suggest to you today. Her coming up to me and expressing her intention ended up very quickly leading to a new series of events that changed her professional life forever, right? That's all it took to set this series of events into motion, was a single question from her. And the thing I love the most about this story is that it was so simple for her to set it into motion, right? And it was easy for me to help her, and everyone who was involved benefited from it. And what I want to point out here is that as we go about our professional path and as we develop personally, sometimes we just end up assuming that things are going to be hard, right? We've all heard people say things like once in a lifetime opportunity, or good things are hard to come by, right? Or a bunch of these other phrases that make us think that things like this only come around every now and then. And not only that, but that we also don't deserve them, or that we won't be able to find them unless there's some sort of struggle involved, right? And that we have this one chance to get there. And it's really hard. And if we miss an opportunity, then it's gone, right? So we have this idea in our mind that we have to struggle in order to avail ourselves of great opportunities. But it turns out that little things like this, expressing an intention, talking about what you want, asking for help from someone, they all have the ability to massively impact our lives, but we end up overlooking them or discounting the transformational impact that just simply asking for what we want can have. But these sorts of opportunities are around us every day, and they present themselves when we share our intentions with other people or when we ask for what it is that we want. Every conversation we have, every interaction we have with a person is an opportunity to share with them intentions that we have, or questions that we're potentially looking for answers to, or things that we're able to provide to other people, right? Every conversation is a chance to share a glimpse of something that you need, something that you're looking for, or even something that you're capable of doing for somebody else, right? Most of the interactions that we have with other people during the day stay at this sort of surface level, and we just end up repeating small talk over and over. But if you decide that you want to share something that you need or that you want with the other person, then you can unlock opportunities that they have access to that you do not have access to. So I want you to just take a second and picture a time when you had a conversation with someone, and during that conversation, they mentioned something that was incredibly helpful for you, or vice versa, right? Something where their reaction was like, oh yeah, I know someone who can help you with that. Or yeah, I can introduce you to so-and-so. Or yeah, you should look into X, Y, or Z, right? We can all point to lots of conversations like that we have. And if you think about it, other people have access to an incredible amount of knowledge and years of experience and years of connections that they've built and resources that they have access to that we don't. But, and this is the critical point, we will never know that they have that knowledge or that they have that way of helping us unless we express an intention or tell people what it is that we're looking for or ask for what we want. This could be a job, a mentor, a connection, an opportunity, a recommendation, anything, right? They might be able to do something in 5 minutes that could literally change the course of your life, but that opportunity can pass you by if you stay silent and don't express that intention. Now, the simple act of just saying it out loud and making it known that you're looking for something obviously is incredibly powerful, but sometimes we hold off on doing this because we tell ourselves things like the following. We don't want to bother someone with a request, right? We think that people are already busy enough as it is, and so we should just know better than to add something else to their plate, right? Or it feels selfish to ask for something for ourselves, and we think people might judge us for it, right? It feels like there's something self-centered about it. Or asking might lead to this awkward moment sometimes where you're asking someone a specific question and they don't know the answer, or you're anticipating that they might not want to help you. And so we just avoid asking the question because we don't want to anticipate or have that moment of awkwardness, right? But I want to suggest to you that I don't think that this is selfish at all. I actually think it's a really natural way for us to connect with people and to help one another. This is the way that we build relationships and professional ecosystems, really, where everyone is looking for opportunities to help one another. And those kinds of ecosystems are what help everyone move closer to their individual and also their collective goals. And if you're still not convinced that it's okay to do this, I would encourage you to think about this from the flipped perspective, right? Think about a time when you were able to help someone. So when a friend or someone that you know asked you for something and you were able to connect them with someone or introduce them to a book or a resource or something that helped them, right? That feels really good when we get the chance to do that, right? So we forget that helping other people makes us feel important and valued and appreciated, and it's a healthy and natural thing to do. Now, the corollary to this is that it should work in both directions, right? If there's something you want to receive, you can look for opportunities to ask, but you can also ask people if there's anything they need or that they're looking for, right? Ask if there's any way that you can help them, right? I felt so happy and continue to feel happy that I was able to connect my friend and my student. And really all that I did was take 5 minutes out of my day to do this for her, right? And we can all point to a time when we did something that took us 5 minutes but that made a huge difference for someone else. So to wrap this up, here's the takeaway and really a way for you to start to put this into practice. As you're having everyday conversations with people, move from some of the surface level conversations to asking some questions or offering some more detailed responses that might trigger opportunities like this, right? So when someone asks you how things are going, instead of saying something like same old, or things are fine, or something that sort of stays on this surface level, look for a way to talk about something that you're interested in or something that you're looking for. Like, have you ever run into anyone who blank? Do you have any ideas on how I can blank? Would you keep me in mind if you run across an opportunity to blank, right? And remember that in order for this concept to have its maximum impact, you have to also ask questions in everyday conversations that might lead to opportunities for you to help other people, right? Is there anyone I can introduce you to? Who's your ideal client, right? Because I want to be able to maybe refer you business if an opportunity comes along. Is there anything I can do to support your work right now, right? These are just like simple questions that we can ask. So see if you can find ways to unlock opportunities for yourself and the people who are around you. It's so easy to do. All you have to do is go to the trouble of asking a question or expressing an intention. And we know from experience that doing that over and over again is well worth it for everybody who's involved. So before we sign off today, does anyone have a quick example of a situation maybe where this happened to you? Either you were able to help someone, or maybe a simple request that you had, or a conversation where you expressed an intention led to some sort of life-changing opportunity. Has anyone experienced that before? Yeah. There are so many examples from our day-to-day life where we see an opportunity when we look for them to help someone else. And we just sort of know from experience that those sorts of things come back around to us all the time if we're intentional about asking or intentional about doing it for somebody else. Great
I'm much
example.
better doing it for somebody else than I am asking for myself. Let me just put that out there.
I'm not surprised by that, Amy, because for the reasons I mentioned before, right? Like we kind of walk around, or that slide I had up, right? It feels like we're bothering people, and it feels really selfish for us to put it out there, right? For us to say that. So for many of us, we're actually better at spotting opportunities to help other people. But part of, I think, the shift in mindset is going from, I can do this for other people, to it's okay for me to ask for that, because people are really willing to share what they know and to help us. And that feels really good. So just, I hear you. This is one of the things that people struggle with a lot. So I would just encourage you to look for some opportunities for you to just express that intention and see what people's reactions are. And if they don't have anything to offer, then it's not about you. It's about them. They're not capable of it or not able to do it, and that's okay. Any other really good examples before we sign off for today? Okay. Thank you for sharing, Amy. Appreciate that. We will leave it there for today. Over this week, I want you to think about how you might be able to share an intention that you have with someone, or how you might be able to take advantage of an opportunity to get someone else to share one of their intentions with you, so that we can try to have it working both ways. Thanks again for joining. Would love to connect with you and get your help spreading the word about the series. If you can share with a friend or give us a shout out on social media, that would be awesome, and I'd really appreciate it. I've got all of our tags up here. Next episode is next Monday at the same time, and next week we're going to cover a really important concept, which is how to move from being someone who's focused on competition to being someone who's focused on creativity instead, and what that can, the kind of impact that can have for us in our day-to-day work. Really powerful mindset shift that we can employ. Okay, I'll look forward to diving into that with you next week. I will see you then. Go have a great work day. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, Drew, can I ask you really quickly?
Yeah.
These have fallen off my calendar. I think I got an email that there was like a new, was there a new link or calendar invitation that went around and I just missed signing up, or?
Yeah. So
I just email you.
yeah, we'll send it to you, Michelle.
Yeah.
So we had 10 of them on calendar, and then once that 10 fell off, we issued a new set of 10. But we'll send you all the stuff that you need, and you should be able to add and just sort of click a couple of clicks and have it back on your calendar. It's the same
Perfect.
login though. You have the
Okay.
same thing. That hasn't changed.
Okay. Thank you.
You got it. You got it. All right.
See you later.
Thanks. See you later. Thanks everybody.
Bye, everyone. Have a good
Bye.
week.
You too. See you next week.
Yeah.